Hey guys, we're taking a look at x and y intercepts. What are the coordinates of point B? This is question number 2. And the coordinates of point B, we can see visually represented right over here, and we can see that that is an x-intercept. That's where the line is crossing the x-axis. And so right away, when we see an x-intercept, I want to remind you that we know one thing. We know that for sure the y is 0. Right, that coordinate is neither above nor below the x-axis. The y is exactly 0. We need the x, and we don't know it. There's no way of getting it from the graph because we don't have a scale. But what we do have is an equation. Now, this equation is not in a form that we're used to working with. This is called the general form. We want it in y equals ax plus b. And once we have it in y equals ax plus b, we'll be able to deal with this issue over here with our known y, right? We don't know the x, but we know that that y is nothing. So we're going to take a second and we're going to put this into y is equal to ax plus b. I'll just take a second. I'm going to copy that out down here. 14x minus 4y plus 91 is 0. So I'm going to subtract 91 from both sides, which is going to leave me with 14x on the left minus 4y is equal to negative 91. Now, the next thing to do is to get rid of that 14x from the left side. I'll use my red pen to emphasize this. We're going to subtract 14x. The whole thing, please, not just 14. And when we subtract 14x from the left side, we've also got to subtract it from the right side. And that 14x doesn't interact with the 91 directly because they have to be like terms if we're going to simplify those. So negative 4y is going to be equal to negative 14x stands alone, and we put it in front, minus the 91, right? We don't muck with the 14 and the 91 because these are 14x's, right? These are not like terms, so they stay as is. And then we divide both sides by negative 4. So we're going to divide by negative 4, and I'll show that there, and I'll show that there. Now, these cancel out, and that's the whole point. Leave me with positive y. Please remember that you're dividing by negative 4 in this case. And that's going to leave me with negative 14 divided by 4. So negative 14 divided by negative 4, and that's going to equal positive 3.5. So 3.5x, don't forget that x is still there. And then negative divided by negative will be a positive, but we'll just confirm that. Negative 91 divided by negative 4, and that's going to give me a positive 22.75. So this is my isolated equation over here. Y is equal to ax plus b. And you can see I have two variables, and I want you to be reminded now of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that x, and I know the y. So that means I can put that 0, I can substitute that 0 in the equation. So I'm just going to take a second, rewrite my equation. Y is equal to 3.5x plus 22.75. And now, remembering that that y is a 0. 0 will be equal to 3.5x plus 22.75. So what I'm looking for is this x. So now I'm going to isolate this x. I'm going to do that by subtracting 22.75 from both sides, from there, and from there, from the left and from the right, making it go away there, but impacting the left-hand side. So negative 22.75 is equal to 3.5x. And I don't want 3.5x's, I just want x. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3.5. And now we need a calculator here probably, because on the right I'll have an x, which is what I want. But on the left I'm going to have negative 22.75 divided by 3.5. And that's going to give me negative 6.5 for my x. So I know that when the y is 0 for this equation, which came from this equation, the x is negative 6.5. So I can come down to fill in my answer now. Negative 6.5 comma 0 is the location of the x-intercept b from this equation. So the big thing to remember is you got to isolate that y, then you plug in that 0, and we know it's there because it's an x-intercept. The y is always 0 when it's an x-intercept.